And welcome back down my pecan tree line lane through the old squeaky gate here at Down on the Farm Radio headquarters. Walk with us down the sidewalk, up onto the porch, through the front door, down the hallway, into the kitchen. Let's set at Granny Marble's kitchen table. And neighbor, we're going to eat a big old heaping helping of chicken fried steak, some jalapeno gravy, Nanny's yeast rolls, and a cold cucumber salad, along with a big old heaping helping of agricultural information. Neighbor, let's check ag weather right quick and see kind of where we're at. We're looking for a 93 in Ozona, a 95 in Sonora, a 97 in Junction, a 97 in San Angelo, and a 98 in Abilene. Looks like we'll be on that 70, 71, 72, 73 degree temperature tonight. It's going to be another warm day. Winds out of the south 10 to 15. Skies partly cloudy to mostly sunny. Neighbor, now let's move west. 93 in Rock Springs, 95 in Kerrville, 99 in Georgetown, 99 in LaGrange, 97 in Cuero and Gonzales and Giddings. As we look toward tonight, we're 71 to 77. Highs on Wednesday, we'll call it 96 to 100. We're on the line from D&D with Wade Floyd. Wade, Purina's got some excellent fly control products, and one of them's a feed-through, isn't it?
Yes, sir. There is a loose mineral that we like to put out. It's going to be a 1275 mineral, and it does have that insect IGR in it. All
right, and y'all sell that in a 50-pound bag?
Yes, sir. We have it in a 50-pound bag, and then we also have it in a molasses tub that'll come in 225 pounds, also a 125-pound tub.
Tell everybody how to get a hold of you, Wade, there at D&D in Seguin.
Yes, sir. They can stop by and see us, or they can just give me a shout at 830-379-7340.
Neighbor, let's take a look at those commodities of ag interest. December corn, $5.40 and a half, up 5 1/4. November beans, $13.25 1/4, up 32 1/2. Deese bean meal, $3.52.10 by the ton, up $4.40 by the ton. December Kansas City hard red winter wheat up down 6 at $7.11 and a half. Taking a look toward your December number 2 cotton contract, it's up 2 at $93.39. October live cattle up 60 at $132.52. October feeder cattle up 95 at $171.62. October lean hogs down 7 1/2 at $87.40. Moving down to your September U.S. dollar index, it's down 9 at $92.87. December gold is up $1.60 at $1,808, even money by the ounce. And October West Texas intermediate crude's up $1.59 at $67.23. Neighbor, there's your commodities of ag interest. McCoys.com. McCoy's Building Supply. Still family owned, strong, growing, and relevant for our ag community. With their own cattle ranches in West Texas, they understand the rural ag economy. Farm and ranch equipment, from working chutes and sorting pins to cattle panels and gates, T-post fencing and barbed wire. Shop online and find the store near you at McCoys.com. Neighbor, now it's time for today's edition of Focus on Ag from the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Confronting challenges during a crop harvest. I'm Tom Nicoletti with Focus on Agriculture on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. Challenges are always part of farming. This is certainly the case for one Central Texas family farm in McGregor. Shanna Weethorn explains some of those challenges during corn harvest time.
It's a struggle. It really is, because, I mean, the price of equipment keeps rising, the price of fertilizer keeps rising, the price of seed keeps rising. It is really a struggle. Then you got to worry about paying landlords and also being able to have enough saved up to be able to pay for next year's crop as well and next year's fertilizer. But we try to make it work as much as we can. Thank goodness for crop insurance. That has helped us out tremendously with when we do have a bad year. 2021 was crazy, as everybody knows, in the state of Texas. Back when we had the big freeze in February, our wheat crop was in the ground. A lot of people had oats as well. It turned everything just brown. I wasn't expecting that, but I mean, it looked horrible. I honestly thought it was dead. But eventually it came back. It came out of it. It greened back up. They always say snow on wheat means money. And so we actually did have a pretty decent wheat crop this year, considering everything that it had to go through. So luckily that, and then, of course, we were able to get our corn in. It wasn't too wet for us to be able to get it in. We got it in, and then rain just hit at the right times, and it worked out the way it was supposed to work out. When there's rain, you have to work. You have to work as fast and as hard and as long as you possibly can to be able to get it in before the rain, comes, or get it out before the rain comes, like we're having to deal with right now in August. But we have to deal with that. You have to deal with equipment breaking. When you have this good of a crop, the equipment is constantly breaking, which is, it's a good thing, but it's a pain. But I'll be glad to deal with that to be able to get a corn crop like this any year.
That is Central Texas farmer Shanna Weethorn. I'm Tom Nicoletti with the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
McCoys.com. McCoys wants to be your source for farm and ranch equipment and supplies specifically suited to your operation. Are you designing a horse farm or a new cattle handling facility? How about your 4-H or FFA project pens? McCoy's Farm and Ranch Specialist, Cliff Mullinex, can help. Contact your local McCoy's store at McCoys.com and find out how to get Cliff out to the farm today. That's www.mccoys.com. Neighbor, it's lunchtime, and old Benny Cox is going to stop down from selling sheep and tell us about what they've got there today. And I'm sure they've got enough head where you can get on out there and get some bought. Benny Cox, producers in Cargyle, Sheep and Goats Tuesday, Cattle Thursday. Tell us what that sheep and goat sale's looking like.
Yeah, we got 4,000. We could get up to 5. That'd kind of be a range. We got to get to 40, 47 or 8 before we can get to 5, but that's probably what we'll see. As I walked through the yard yesterday afternoon, good many goats again. We've sold a lot of goats here the last couple of weeks, so I guess a bunch of them are getting ready, and I say that. We've sold a bunch of those things that are a little on the light side, and something to mention, and it's worthy of doing. These stomach worms are starting to show some of these symptoms are showing. We're getting some of these things that are get down on the yards.
Right.
After these people push them around 2 or 3 times, and then we get them and, work them, and we feed a sack seed, so you're changing their diet somewhat. But all that tends to be some kind of a stress factor. We had the Sheep and Goat Symposium this week, and we had a panel of 3 of these guys that handle a lot of sheep and goats. Actually, 2 of them in the slaughter facilities, and they're seeing, of course, they open them up, they get to see some things that we don't don't get to see from the outside. But with this tender forage, a lot of times they're able to feed themselves and the worms, and they look good out in the pasture. But after they stress these things 3 or 4 times, then things start to fall to pieces. In a week's time, if not before, these guys are seeing some issues. So people need to keep that in mind. It's been green enough here, especially and more so to the east of here, long enough now that these sheep are carrying, and goats are carrying a worm load.
How was the symposium received? A lot of people?
It was real good. I spent all day there on Friday, and it looked like to me, I never heard the number, but it looked like to me it was certainly attended as heavily as it's been the last 2 or 3 years. I believe this was a 7th year. Of course, they start out with the sheep and goat field day there at the research center, and this was the 48th year for it, and I think the 7th for the symposium. Yeah, it's been real well received. I think they felt like they had about 20% of those people were from out of state. So it's
good,
and it's informational. It's really good for people to show up if they're in sheep and goat production.
Right. How about the cattle sale this week, Benny?
Oh, I think it's going to be lighter than we saw 2 weeks ago. Of course, that big old rain, we didn't end up with we didn't have 350 last week, but we may push in, get close to that 1,000. I don't know where we'll beat it or not.
Tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
They can call me on my mobile. It's 325-234-4277. The office is the same area code, 653-3371, or they can always look at the web, which is producersandcargyle.com.
Neighbor, with preferred cattle chutes, hay rings, corral panels, and more, McCoy's is ready to become your farm and ranch outfitter. Visit the McCoy stores in this region. I know they've got them in San Angelo. I know they've got them in Abilene. Stores near you. Find the products you need at McCoys.com. Neighbor Henry Pickett's about to sell, so let's send the cowboy crew up there to help him in Abilene. They sell them every Tuesday. Henry Pickett, talk to us about today's sale. What do you think's headed our direction?
Well, it's going to be a little lighter run. We had quite a bit of moisture in the area. Seems like we hit all the moisture on Monday, and then it affects our numbers on Tuesday, but it's a good thing in the long run.
Yes, it is.
We're going to have, last night we ended up with about 400 on the yard with about 75 cows. We're expecting, like I said, a little lighter run, but hopefully around 800.
Good deal. The quality of the cattle good?
What I've looked at so far looks pretty good.
Remind folks about any specials we have coming up.
We'll have our last wean calf sale of the year, October 19th, and then we've got our first annual bred female replacement sale. on Saturday, September 11th, and we've already got 450-something cattle consigned and waiting on a couple hundred more, but hopefully it'll be good for our first go-round.
Good deal. Tell everybody how to contact you, Henry Pickett.
Here at the sale barn, we can be reached at 325-673-7865, or my cell number is 940-733-8208.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Neighbor, let's talk about PMI, Pipe, Steel, and Fencing, San Antonio, High, Hondo, Kerrville, Robstown, Jourdanton, and Laredo. Contact the Hondo store at 830-426-2912. That's 830-426-2912. Remember, that's PMI, Pipe, Steel, and Fencing, pipemovers.com. Neighbor, when you hear cattle in the alleyway, they're shipping them out from the sale yesterday in Three Rivers, Live Oak Livestock, Three Rivers. Let's go to Riley Rhodes and see just how the sale went.
Good, Larry. Ended up just short of 1,199 head today. Market pretty steady. Cows were a little bit higher. On the rail prices were a little bit higher. Calf market, I thought, was on the better quality, was sure steady. Maybe some of the little crossbred cattle might have been a little bit cheaper, and some of the fatter bull calves might have been just a tad cheaper. But overall, still a really good market. Had a handful of pairs, brought 850 to 14 and a quarter. Not many bred cows, but what we had brought 800 to 1150. Packer cows, your high yielding 72 to 80. The breakers 64 to 72. Canners 38 to 64. High yielding packer bulls 92 to 98. Low to medium yielding bulls 72 to 92. 2 to 3 weight choice steers 168 to 190. Heifer mates 160 to 178. 3 to 4 weight choice steers 176 to 202. Heifer mates 150 to 164. 4 to 5 weight choice steers 170 to 192. Heifer mates 144 to 162. 5 to 6 weight choice steers 160 to 180. Their heifer mates 140 to 158. 6 to 7 weight choice steers 144 to 160. Their heifer mates 130 to 142. 7 to 8 weight choice steers 132 to 144, and their heifer mates 120 to 132. So pleased with it. Had pretty decent volume today, and quality was good. Calves are getting fat. After all the rain and everything, and that they're weighing good, but they're bringing a little bit less per pound. It looks like some of these fatter bull calves, especially. But real pleased with the market today.
Good. Tell everybody how to get a hold of you if they've got something to buy or sell next week.
You bet. My cell phone's 361-813-6650. And there at the office, 361-786-2553. A website, liveoaklivestock.com.
We appreciate it, Riley. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Neighbor, remember Meatheads, 3187 North U.S. Highway 183 in Gonzales. Call 830-672-2135. Are you having a party? Call ahead. They'll take care of you. You might even want to utilize this steel deal for that party. 8 pork chops, 4 T-bones, 4 beef sirloin tips, 8 1-pound boxes of hamburger, and 4 1-pound pan sausage packs for $85. And don't forget, if you want to buy a whole or a half or a quarter, they've got cattle on feed. They can help you get it done. That's Meatheads, 830-672-2135, 3187 North U.S. Highway 183 in Gonzales, 830-672-2135. Neighbor, when you hear the auctioneer sound off, it's time to head over to Union Commission Hondo Livestock and talk to Seth Crane about how the cattle he sold yesterday went. Seth, talk to us about that sale.
Went pretty good, Larry. Ended up with, I believe, 335 head of cattle, probably somewhere around 40 cows. Packer cow market about steady with last week, 43 cents up to 79 on a top cow. Most of your higher yielding cows kind of from that all 68 up into mid 70s right there. Packer bulls about the same as well, 72 up to $1 on a really good bull. Most of those good bulls be somewhere around 91, 93 cents. I just had a handful of pairs from 775 to 1410, and on the bred cows from 650 up to 1060. As far as the calf market, the board was up big this morning on the feeder side, and probably has been here for a couple days. It sure looked like it was better, especially on some of those steers. Probably gained a few dollars again this week. So really good calf market. On the number one end of the cattle, $1.62 to $2.14. That'd be on your 2 to 3 weight steers, 2 to 3 weight heifers, $1.45 to $1.70. 3 to 4 weight steers, $1.65 to $2.02. 3 to 4 weight heifers, $1.45 to $1.65. 4 to 5 weight steers, $1.60 up to $1.84. 4 to 5 weight heifers, $1.40 to $1.62. 5 to 6 weight steers, $1.40 to $1.74. Your 5 to 6 weight heifers, $1.30 to $1.54. 6 to 7 weight steers and bull calves, $1.30 to $1.54. 6 to 7 weight heifers, 120 to 138. Your 7 to 8 weight steers and bull yearlings, $1.10 to 138. 7 to 8 weight heifers, $1.10 to 124. And even on the Bremer calf side of the market, had a pretty good test on those today. Had some straight Bremers bringing right up there around $1, a little over on some of them. And then had some 3/4 bloods bring up there over $1.20 today. So even that market a little better. Larry, looking forward to next week. Ought to have a pretty good run of cattle, unless it rains us out or something. In the meantime, feel free to contact us, 830-741-8061. Get me on my cell phone, 210-288-3960. And for any updates and information, visit us on Facebook or there on the website at hondolivestock.com.
Good day, neighbor. The Family Ranch Rodeo Fest is coming up October the 2nd. There'll be at least 10 fine teams competing. Corey Morrow will be the headliner. Jason Roberts will open up. And they'll have a barbecue cook-off, mutton busting, goat roping, and auction refreshments and more. The Ranch Rodeo supports a really good cause. The Youth Ag and Equestrian Center, home to 4-H, FFA, and junior livestock youth in Kendall County. Find out about tickets at ranchrodeo.org or call 210-863-3222. That's 210-863-3222. Family Ranch Rodeo Fest, October the 2nd, Comfort, Texas. Neighbor, you folks be sure to grab a bottle of water before you leave the house. It's in the number 2 wash tub right there by the screen door. Grab some on your way out. Neighbor, now let's take a look at the grains, courtesy of John Tuggle, 800-288-4453. Milo through Corpus in August, D's plus 85, 1108. Yellow corn through Corpus Christi, August-September delivery, September plus 70, 608. Hard red winter wheat through Houston in August, September plus $1 bill, 804 1/4. Beans through Houston, August-September delivery, November less 30, 1262 3/4. Neighbor, we didn't move any cotton in Texas yesterday. Lower qualities 89.79, higher qualities 92.79. The average price was somewhere in around that 91.29 level. Neighbor, we're the best darn farm show in 100,000 square miles of the great state of Texas. No brag, just fact. I'm Larry Marble, and you're my neighbor, and you folks make it that way. Come on back down the lane and make the 345 show a grand one when Hop Sing serves us a Kolach, a cup of coffee, glass of iced tea. Hope to see you then.